Welcome to
Okay.
the Nerd Pow Wow. Follow us on YouTube where we upload new videos every Friday, or check us out on your favorite podcast platform. We're also live on Surf the Host every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Spoiler warning, we do deep dives on characters, storylines, and theory crafting. Mariah Bain, what are we talking about today?
We're going to talk about sidekicks. There's been sidekicks in just about every nerd medium out there. You've got, your classics, your Robin to the Batman and, Bucky to the Captain America. They've been all over the place. So I thought we'd just kind of give them a little attention that they may not have gotten from their host or their partner.
It's our voices with your imagination. Our theories take us down endless rabbit holes. We give our fellow nerds something to consider at the gaming table. Follow us as the Nerd Pow Wow.
I just thought it would be interesting because there's like certain dynamics that make up sidekicks. You've got the mentoring type sidekick, which kind of think Batman kind of leans into that type of role where he's mentoring the kid or the whatever. It does seem like it's a little odd a lot of times that in comics it tends to be a useful sidekick. It tends to be, I think, with the exception of with the Starman was the exception. He had what was that robot's name? I forget in the what his name was. But anyway, the most of the time it's like a younger kid, so there's like a mentorship kind of role to that. Other times you have like a fan of the hero becomes their role, but it's usually there's the difference between sidekicks and partners is the sidekick or there's the sidekick one person's always in charge, whereas partners you kind of take turns. One time this person calls the shots, the next time this one don't does, but there's absolutely a boss and underling dynamic when it comes to sidekicks. So I just thought we'd give them a talk. I think DC Comics kind of cornered the market in originating them. I mean, every single person in, I think, the Justice League originally had a sidekick. They even formed the Teen Titans were
Teen
originally
Titans.
just the group of sidekicks when they were finally getting a little older and stepping into their own. It evolved over the years into different things, but originally, you had Speedy for the Green Arrow, and obviously Robin and Aqualad and Wonder Girl. He had all kinds of. They just had a sidekick for everybody. So, what do you about you guys? You had some good sidekicks out there you were looking up or anything?
Yeah, and just to kind of piggyback on what you're saying about sidekicks, you mentioned a lot of the sidekicks, in comic books tend to be younger kids or things like that, right? And I think you could get into the heroes kind of irresponsible, right? But really, the truth of the matter of it is, a lot of these sidekicks they're more of a moral compass for the superhero, and for the kids reading these comic books, they're kind of a self insert, right? Like, hey, I'm going on this adventure with Batman, right? So while I can definitely see that there's a lot of kiddos in those roles. Like we have Robin, of course, as one of those roles. Yeah, yep,
That's an interesting thought. I didn't really think of it from that before. Is a lot of times the sidekick being younger allows the younger reader to have to have more of a insertion of self instead of like this adult in a costume fighting crime.
yeah.
That's interesting.
And a lot of the times the caped crusader or the person fighting the crime is a little bit more emotionally void, in which
Mm,
they have an emotional kid, which most kids can kind of resonate, like, hey,
yeah,
mom and dad are all cool through this or whatever, and I'm the one freaking out. So I can see some of those dynamics too.
yeah. That's cool. Yeah. That I never really thought about that because that's the way that is most of the comics for exactly that. I mean,
Hmm.
once in a while you have a few exceptions where it's almost like someone was like I don't want to use the word servant. Like take Kato for the Green Hornet. He was almost like a paid assistant. So he felt like a hired assistant as a sidekick. He was his driver, he was his muscle sometimes. All of these different things. So you almost have that dynamic there. Take Chewbacca.
Hmm.
Oh
You
yeah,
know, So I think there's a case to be made for Chewbacca being partners with Han. However, there was really no question in the movies that Han was always calling the shots.
Yeah.
He was the one. So Chewbacca absolutely, catered to Han's leadership. So I felt like he was definitely a sidekick. Just which kind of brings me to R2 and 3PO. I think about that all the time. I think that there's a weird thing there where R2 is actually the main one, and the 3PO is the sidekick to R2.
Yeah,
and R2 is almost the side. Yeah, and R2 is almost the sidekick to Luke. There's actually like a tiered thing there because when it comes to effect in story and weight in story and everything else, R2 has a much heavier part of the whole lore there in Star Wars than 3PO. 3PO is almost a comedic insertion most of the time. He's, once in a while he happens to know what somebody's saying when nobody else does, and that's about the benefit that he brings to the party.
Oh yeah.
Or the Ewoks think he's a god. That's it, but he screwed that up too. But yeah, I always thought that was neat that when I thought about it, the 3PO was actually more of a sidekick to R2 than vice versa.
Another way to break up the sidekicks from being younger is Tonto from the Lone Ranger.
Oh yeah.
The Lone Ranger basically was obviously the Lone Ranger. They were attacked and the other 6 were killed, and Tonto brought the Lone Ranger back to life. And I was looking at that came out in 1933 as a radio program. 1933. That's just astounding to me. And then in the 1950s it came to TV.
Well, if you think about it, in 1933 there was probably still people alive that remembered those kind of things. They could remember their parents on horseback. In 1933, it's not too far off that they remember not having cars around.
Yeah.
So that was I'm sure there was a real catchy draw to that because it was a story of their parents or a story from their grandparents' time that really struck home with them. So I always loved the Lone Ranger. That's a great call. I wouldn't have thought of that one for this. And
they redid the Lone Ranger. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Johnny Depp played Tonto.
Yes. Yep.
And I don't know about you guys. I didn't care for that movie.
No, I didn't love it. I do think that well, I don't know. I didn't love it. I didn't think it was great.
Yeah.
It was one of those movies that I think if they didn't call it the Lone Ranger, I may have liked it more because I just didn't feel like it didn't quite fit the bill.
Yeah, because they kind of made, well, it's Johnny Depp playing Tonto, so obviously Johnny Depp's a popular character, so he can't just be the sidekick. He's got to kind of be one-on-one with the Lone Ranger, and I think that's what they tried to do with that movie, and it just, for someone that knows the Lone Ranger, it just didn't work.
Yeah, I can see that. Because I'm trying to remember the one Lone Ranger movie. It was an earlier one. It might have been the one from the 80s. That one there really, I don't think that is the one.
From the 80s, that one was pretty good. It was more accurate.
I don't know what I'm thinking of though. It might be I might be thinking of the original 1956 one.
Yeah, because and one interesting fact is I think they only had one season of color. The rest was black and white. As I remember being a kid, my dad loved the Lone Ranger. Like, why are you watching these black and white shows? And he loved them.
Yeah, you know they added color to TV? My God.
Yeah, that's right. Another one like that was Bonanza. Bonanza was black and white at first, too.
Yeah.
Or even Doctor Who.
True.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of
lost episodes of Doctor Who.
What's that?
The lost episodes of Doctor Who. Because they lost quite a bit of episodes.
Yeah, Doctor Who's a good example of having sidekicks. The doctors always had what did they call them? What did they call their, what were they called?
It's like every time he changed to a new doctor, he would get a new sidekick.
Did they call them an assistant or companion? Companion. Okay.
Yeah, companions. The doctor's companions. But yeah, it was absolutely sidekick.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's interesting. Yeah,
Kemosabe.
I was like that, Kemosabe. I'm a sucker for a good Western.
Me too.
I love a good Western. But
and I get that a lot from my dad. He loved all those Westerns, except Little House on the Prairie. We never liked that one.
That's not a Western. It's a soap opera set in the woods.
I think it's meant to be a Western. I don't know.
Oh.
Didn't like it.
Yep.
Yeah,
But
I
it
don't know.
it came on after Bonanza, so obviously we watched Bonanza and just wouldn't turn the TV off, and there's Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah, I remember I grew up with the same kind of shows. Like I remember like The Rifleman was a good one. I always watched that one because the guy would in the intro he's walking and he's firing the rifle by pulling the hammer back. He's got the setup to so all you have to do is click that. I mean, there was a lot of good ones. Maverick, oh, the Maverick series, Maverick was great.
Yeah.
That was there's a lot of good ones. Gunsmoke. There was Miss Kitty and Gunsmoke. There was some good westerns. Westerns are notorious for sidekicks as well. I mean, I think
They
everybody.
sure are.
Who was Roy Rogers?
Yeah, because you always have your main character, and then they always have their companion.
And sometimes it's an animal companion, which is their sidekick too. Like Roy Rogers, I think he had was him that had Silver, right? Wasn't he Hi-Ho Silver?
No, that's Lone Ranger.
Oh, it's Silver. That is Lone Ranger. That's
Yep.
right.
Hi-ho, Silver!
Away.
Way!
But yeah, there's
So-
a lot of interesting stuff there.
Yeah, one I want to touch on a little bit more is the Batman and Robin dynamic, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, that's when you think sidekicks, the first person I always go to is Robin, and I'm not even a huge DC guy. There have been 3 main Robin. We had the first one, Dick Grayson, which was the original Robin. He was the circus performer with flying Graysons, and his family was killed by cut wires. So basically Batman raised him as his ward, as an orphan. And so Grayson's kind of I think he's the most moral of the Robins.
Art.
Yeah. But you know, that's really all of these heroes that we talk about, you know, they're great on their own, but they're made better by their sidekicks. There's some fundamental flaw between each one of these heroes that we follow and idealize. And they, without their sidekicks, like Batman without his sidekick is a very violent man, is a very, you know, like there's a point where Batman just shoots somebody, like when he gets older, because he can't deal with the fighting anymore. He doesn't have backup. Like, look, I have the power of gun now, so. But I mean, then we had Jason Todd, who was he was first encountered by Batman trying to jack wheels off the Batmobile, or just the Batmobile in general. But you know, he was just very brave, and he was very talented, but still, you know, kind of a moral compass for Batman.
Jason Todd is to talk about him for a second.
Yeah,
That had one of the most messed up things in comics that has ever happened.
Mhm.
Is they had a vote. They had a fan vote on whether or not to kill off Jason Todd, and the fans voted to kill him.
Wow.
yeah,
They had a fan vote. It was like a cliffhanger comic, and they had a giant vote out there like, should Robin die? And like by a large margin, people just voted for him to die. So they killed him off, but I mean, he comes back as the Red Hood later, all fucked up. But
yeah.
yeah, it was a wild thing to have happen in comics, and then a wild outcome. Like,
Wait, you
I'm
guys
like,
really
wow.
wanted him to die?
Yeah, just kill him off, and he died horrible.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
God.
Didn't he? He's the Robin that got beat by the Joker with a crowbar,
Mhm.
right? Yep.
Mhm.
Oh,
Get beat to death.
yeah.
Beat the
Yep.
shit. Yep. Oh
Yep.
man. But then there's Tim Drake, which is the other Robin. I don't know quite as much about Tim Drake, but I'm sure he's. But you know, with all these Robins, it reminds me a lot of Sherlock Holmes and Dr. John Watson, right? You have kind of the emotionally disconnected crime fighter who has a morally guided, more people person following around with him, and kind of keeping them on the straight. You know, both between them, you know, both of them kind of, you know, would help heal, or you know, John Watson was literally a doctor. You know, would literally help Holmes, you know, heal from injuries and whatnot, and
Yeah, and
same with Robin, you know, for Batman.
yeah. I think Holmes is a good, or that's another great example. I didn't think about Sherlock Holmes and Watson, and when you talk about moral compasses, I almost think that Watson was Holmes's emotions. Holmes was
Yeah.
damn near a sociopath.
Right.
You know what
Oh
I
yeah.
mean? They write him like that, like he's well, and I don't want to correlate the two, but it's almost not maybe not a sociopath, but maybe some kind of like almost like an autism where his
Definitely a
emotions,
personality defect for sure.
yeah, where he just doesn't have a strong connection to his emotions. He's very like
Very
factual
machine-like,
and to
yeah.
the point, yeah, very literal, very machine-like. Whatever it comes from, and Watson filled the gaps of what made him a little bit more human, a little bit more, like leveled him out. That's a great example. I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw the TV show Elementary. So it was Sherlock Holmes, but it was Dr. Joan Watson, played by Lucy Liu. It was a good series. It ran about 8 seasons. It was good.
I watched that. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And
Johnny Lee Miller was Sherlock Holmes.
Who was it?
Johnny Lee Miller.
I don't remember his name. I remember I can envision the guy, but I didn't know his name.
Yeah, he played Jordan Chase in Dexter. So that's I really like the actor.
And there were a few other Robins too, and one of them that's kind of important to the dynamic because I think it flipped the dynamic was Damian Wayne. It's actually Batman's biological son by what's his face's daughter?
Ra's al Ghul's daughter, right?
Ra's al Ghul's daughter, yeah, Talia al Ghul. But he was raised by what the hell's the group called? My brain's dying off here. What's Ra's al Ghul's group? Oh my
I'm
god!
not sure.
Somebody in chat saying it now. Hold on.
Come on. We need you guys now.
It's the League of Assassins. How do we not think of that? Jesus, we suck. But anyway,
all that was coming into my brain is the hand, and I'm like, it's not the hand. Like it's no.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel like I lost my nerd card there. But anyway, the League of Assassins. And he was raised by them, so he was the one that was very kind of murderous and uncontrolled, and Batman had to level him out. So the dynamic kind of switch was kind of an interesting. Now they had a short-lived girl, but she was very short-lived. She ended up going off and because she became a Batgirl and was not did not long as Robin. And then I think the last one is that he was the guy that became the Signal in DC Comics was a Robin. I don't remember his name, but he became the Signal. He's very short-lived. But there have been a few.
Yeah. Yep. Batman needs his Robin. Otherwise,
Batman needs his Robin.
Excessively violent. Without Watson, Holmes, he spirals into drug use and just isolation.
Yeah.
It's Watson. Even Holmes will say that, Watson isn't as intelligent as him, but it's Watson that brings his intelligence out.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's another thing that it's almost like he's a buff for Sherlock's intelligence because he is able to give him a point of view that he would not be able to attain himself.
Yeah.
Being able to see it from like why people might do something for based on some kind of emotion or something of that nature. So that was kind of interesting too.
Absolutely. Yep. I have a couple anime references too, unless you guys have more with Batman and Holmes.
No, let's hear it.
All right. So Soul Eater, you guys might not be super familiar with. Laura loves Soul Eater. It's one of her favorite animes, but there's a partnership between it's called the Meister and the Weapon, which basically the Meister is the wielder of whatever weapon. So we have Maka Alburn and Soul Eater Evans, which is Soul. It's basically this demon death scythe that she uses, and they have to resonate and work together to be able to fight against these different evil spirits. So that's Soul Eater. You should check it out. It's a pretty interesting little anime. It's cute. It's kind of funny.
I've heard of it,
but it does have some pretty heavy themes. But definitely a good example of two individuals working together. I'm gonna see them as a partnership in a lot more ways than maybe hero sidekick. But there's one who's wielding the weapon and one who's actually the weapon. So there's take that into account, and there's definitely kind of a clear hero and one that's more of the support role in that. Another one is Trigun. I got to bring up Vash and Wolfwood.
Wolfwood.
Whereas we have Batman, who's the moral compass, or who's the guy who's going to go too far. We have Vash, who's not going to go far enough. And we have Wolfwood, who sometimes recognizes that sometimes violence is necessary, and sometimes
Mhm.
somebody has to get their hands. And
Yeah.
so now, while Wolfwood may be the sidekick, he is the one who's not afraid to get his hands dirty and make the hard decisions that Vash ultimately will do everything he can to run from or to stop from taking a life. Wolfwood will take that burden into his own hands, and it drives him crazy because he kind of sees Vash's idealism, and he wish he could live in a world where that's possible, to where he could even be redeemed under his own religion's tenets. But he recognizes the world they live in is just so brutal, that taking a life is just a part of survival. So I think Wolfwood is a good sidekick, in a way that you don't really usually think of sidekick.
Hmm.
And then
Go ahead.
no, go for it.
I'm just it's just opening me up. I'm just thinking of different kinds of thing. Like it's almost like obviously we have animal sidekicks, but like almost the weapon one especially. It's like you could have like an object be a sidekick in a way.
Oh, true.
Like where there's
could.
one or the
Yep.
other. Excalibur to King Arthur.
Yeah.
You know what I
The
mean?
Sword
Very
of
much
Omens
a
to
character in the
Lionel.
story. The Excalibur is very much a character in the story. So it's almost like it fills that place. It fills that marker kind of thing. That's interesting. Huh.
Nunchucks to Michelangelo.
There you go.
There you go.
Or pizza.
Or pizza, yeah. Or spinach to Popeye.
There you go. Spinach to Popeye. That's a good one.
So I like the object idea as a sidekick because it's a perfect reason. There are things that mention Sword of Omens to Lionel.
True.
Panthro's got his nunchucks.
Yeah, like a sidekick tool.
Yeah. Mumra's got the evil mutants.
Yeah. Well, that's a good question. How many
Oh, that's a henchman, though,
villainous
right?
sidekicks? What's that?
It is a henchman. Yeah.
Evil sidekicks are henchmen, right? Or do we
Well,
call them
I think
sidekicks?
if there's more than one, it's a henchman. But if you have like
So it's just one.
If it's just one,
sometimes
it's a
there's
hench.
it's a hench.
Okay.
Henchman.
A hench person.
A hatchman.
But no, have there been like any good like I would think that like Harley Quinn was originally a sidekick to the Joker, not a hench person, but like a sidekick.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think that dynamic, so that's kind of crazy to think about in villainous roles.
Yeah.
Like that's a whole different. It falls into a whole different thing.
Yeah.
Like, do you guys know who Black Tom Cassidy is in comics? He's a villain of the X-Men. For a long time, him and the Juggernaut were a duo. They were like good friends, and it was very much Juggernaut was the sidekick to Black Tom Cassidy.
They had him briefly in the animated series when they kidnapped Lilandra.
Yeah, Black Tom was a really cool character for a long time, but he kind of just faded off into the. He's Banshee's brother.
Yes, he is. Yeah,
which was kind of funny. Like Xavier's brother and Banshee's brother working together, but or at least
it's Marvel.
Xavier's stepbrother, anyway.
There's got to be drama and family affairs going on, and everybody getting it.
Absolutely. Well, because Marvel honestly doesn't really do the sidekick thing very often. You had Bucky with Captain America for a bit. Original, the Human Torch, the android Human Torch had Toro, which was his sidekick. That was a neat one too, because the Human Toro he could flame on, but not by himself. He had to be with the torch. It happened by accident. He met the torch and burst into flame. So whenever something about the torch affected him, being in something, they had some kind of corny thing with him being an android in the fire or whatever, but Toro could flame on whenever he was with the torch. So it was like the perfect sidekick for him. But for the most part, trying to think of, you know who the poster child for sidekick in Marvel, all of Marvel Comics for just about everybody is Rick Jones. Rick Jones was the Hulk's sidekick. He was Captain Marvel's sidekick. He was Captain America's sidekick. He's been everybody's sidekick. He's like the token sidekick throughout the whole Marvel universe. So yeah, Rick Jones. Yeah, that's the sidekick. For a little while, Falcon was Captain America's sidekick
Oh yeah,
for a little bit.
that's fair.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You have Tony Stark has Jarvis.
Yeah, I mean that's arguably a Star Trek. Almost like his. Yeah, that's very cool too.
Would you call the Wasp Ant-Man sidekick?
No, I'd say partner.
Yeah, that's I was
And
gonna
if
say.
there's ever going to be the real dynamic, I'm voting on Janet anyway. Hank could be a real soup sandwich sometimes, man.
Laura's right. Tony
That-
Stark's best sidekick is money.
Yeah, facts.
Same with
Facts.
Batman, honestly. We don't
Yeah,
need Robin.
yeah.
We got a bankroll.
Yeah, so it's just money.
Yeah, Tony Stark has all kinds of sidekicks because you could also say Ego is his sidekick.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. No, that's his shortcoming that he needs his ego deflated every once in a while, you know. He just has a cold machine that follows him around like, Tony, please stop boozing.
Or Pepper Potts with Tony Stark.
Yeah.
It's true.
Although she was, maybe once she became Rescue.
Yeah.
Otherwise, she was just like a love interest. But yeah, there's just, and I think there's been, I mean, in just about every medium, you have the dynamic of the sidekick or the underling or the understudy or whatever you want to call it. Some of them are almost, because you have partners. Like, I don't want to confuse the two.
Yeah.
Because not all, you know, like Hawk and Dove, I don't know how well you guys know them, but they were very much like on an equal basis.
Cloak and Dagger too, right?
Yeah, Cloak and Dagger, that's another great example.
Yeah.
Very much so.
You know,
Although you don't have a lot of partnership, that's one thing that doesn't exist a lot. Is a true like Power Man and Iron Fist, very much a partnership with the Heroes for Hire. But I think
What about
most
One
of
Punch
them are
Man?
teams. What's that?
Oh,
Does One Punch Man have a sidekick?
Of course he does. Genos. Oh my god, I can't believe I didn't think of that. Oh my
What does that guy need a
gosh.
sidekick for?
He needs a sidekick. Look, he needs somebody for exposition. Because Saitama, he's you know, average punch, and he punches the guy and he blows up and dies, right? But until One Punch Man shows up, before Saitama shows up, he needs Genos to get his ass kicked to show how powerful that bad guy is, so that when One Punch Man gets there and beats him in one punch, you know how strong Saitama is. Because Genos keeps getting all these upgrades, it gets stronger and stronger. It just gets fucking rocked every time. So yeah, Genos is Saitama's sidekick, and it's perfect.
I don't know. Is that a sidekick or a whipping boy?
A little of both. You know, there's also arguably the Moomin Rider for Saitama, because Saitama, while he's super strong, he does not have any mobility abilities. So the Moomin Rider is a superhero. He's like a C-class hero. His superpower revolves around him riding a bicycle. And so what Saitama does is, if he needs to get to the scene of the crime or wherever something bad's happening, he'll get on the back of the bike and have Moomin Rider ride him there, you know?
I love the how interesting and developed these characters are in this show.
Yeah.
You get the guy that punches people once, the guy that gets beat up, and the guy that gives him a ride on his bicycle.
It's great. And Saitama's here. He's, Genos reminds Saitama that the market sale's happening yesterday and not today, so that he missed it anyways while he was worried about this entire fight, that, you know, it took one punch to finish.
Yeah, I can't with it.
It's so good.
I love it.
It's so good.
I love it.
I love that. Thanks for bringing that up, Wayne. That
No
was
problem.
perfect.
Yeah.
That was
And
perfect.
thanks, Wayne. That was awesome.
One Punch Man.
Yeah. I have one more anime reference, and this one it borders the line between partnership and sidekick, okay? And so this one, I had to think a lot about it, actually, because I think the relationship in the show defies them being a sidekick, and they're more of a partner. And what I'm talking about is Ash Ketchum and Pikachu from Pokemon. So normally a Pokemon, it's stuck in a little ball, it's subservient to its owner, and it makes its own choices and does its own things, does whatever it wants, right? Well, Pikachu, Ash gets Pikachu from Professor Oak. Pikachu refuses to stay in the ball. He defies, I will not be a side character. So he rejects that first episode. He's not going to get in the Pokeball, and he's not going to listen to Ash either. And between the two, Ash matures, becomes less arrogant and, reckless, becomes a rookie to a more trained Pokemon trainer. And Pikachu, instead of just being raw power, he becomes a lot more focused and is more disciplined and creates better battle strategies. So I think there's an argument that could be had between Pikachu being a sidekick or, an actual just partner. Yeah.
Yeah, that's that also I'm not a huge like Pokemon like lore, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know any about that. I didn't know he was a stubborn little thing, and you can't put a shock collar on him because he's an electric beast.
Yeah, right.
So.
You can't put the shock collar on. That's perfect.
Can't whip him into shape.
Yeah.
But no, that's fine. Because but you know what I thought you were gonna say before you came out with that was I thought you were gonna bring up Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh yes, Alphonse.
Alphonse is kind of a sidekick role.
Yeah.
Very much so for that in the anime world. That was a good example.
Yeah, I would say Alphonse is a sidekick. He's the brother. He's the support. He, even though he doesn't have one, he brings the heart to the relationship sometimes. And he offsets Eric's more brash nature.
And a lot of times the little brother in a lot of dynamics, even in real life, tends to be the sidekick. You know what I mean? You get the little brother. Your little brother's your sidekick. They're like looking up to you, and they do the things you do, and it just ends up being your little.
Hey, as a little brother, I know what that's like. Yep.
What's that?
I remember I was my brother's little sidekick for a while.
Yeah.
You sure were.
Yep.
Yeah, you could definitely, and not even necessarily brother. I mean, just younger siblings. A lot of times.
Yeah.
End up being the little side. Matter of fact, I remember how much that my little sister used to hate that. A lot of people were like, "Hey, aren't you Johnny's sister?" like she didn't have her own name right then, and she was my sister. She's like, oh.
I'd get that all the time. Oh, you're Dave's brother, right? Yeah, I am.
Oh. Another sidekick I thought about is Tails from Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, Tails. Well, remember the first appearance in the Sonic video game? I remember being Sonic. I tried to get rid of Tails, and just you can't.
You can't.
I mean, you could speed ahead of him for a little bit, but he always catches up. And then in the TV shows, I guess they made him a very intelligent, like he can make gadgets out of nothing.
Yeah, I remember that.
He's very, very intelligent.
Yeah. Yes. A lot of video game sidekicks when you had that like character that was chasing you around.
Yeah.
Type thing.
Oh, Laura said Yoshi is a great sidekick.
Yoshi is a great
That's
sidekick.
True. My favorite kicking with Yoshi is when I'm trying to jump over something and I know I'm not going to make the jump, so I sidekick off of him and jump over onto the platform. He's my favorite sidekick.
Yeah, drop him into the hole.
Yep. Abandon that puppy into a bottomless pit. See ya, dumbass.
Yeah.
But then you just create another one, another egg hatches, and there's another Yoshi.
I'm glad they mature quickly.
Because I think originally, like Luigi was in that role, but then Yoshi actually absolutely came in and clicked us sometimes.
Absolutely,
that's a good example.
I guess another one I had is Launchpad McQuack from Darkwing Duck. He's the epitome of a sidekick. They even call him a sidekick in the show. Yeah. He just
and Ron from Harry Potter.
Yeah,
Mr. Weasley, getting into different genres there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's a lot of trying to think of different
genres
now because there's a lot of different.
Hey, we got horror, Frankenstein, and Igor.
Yeah, but Igor, I think Igor was more. Oh, you mean Dr. Frankenstein, not
Dr.
the monster.
Frankenstein. Yeah. I would say Frankenstein's monster. I'm a man of
culture. Yeah. Well, you would be correct. It's just a lot of people, unfortunately, refer to the monster as Frankenstein. He's not, and that's completely incorrect. Yeah, that's a good. Even what's his name? Ren. What's Dracula's familiar guy's names? Come on.
Isn't there a movie on that? Renfield or
Renfield, I think it is.
Yeah, it's something like that.
And I guess
R.M. Renfield. It's Renfield.
Renfield.
Yep. Renfield.
Hey, what's up, Kimchi?
Hi, Kimchi. Oh, Winnie the Pooh and Piglet. I like
Good
that.
example.
Oh yeah,
Or Christopher Robin with Winnie the Pooh.
yeah. I think that Winnie the Pooh and Piglet is a better dynamic.
It is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because that
Piglet
was
follows him around.
yeah, because Piglet is absolutely like a little extension of Pooh.
Ooh.
A little
example.
extension of Pooh.
Me and any cat ever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair.
Yeah.
That's a hench person. No, I'm just kidding.
Hench kitties.
Hench kitties.
What?
I love
my
that
dog-
there's an evil mastermind down there with her cat just.
Oh no.
Oh, we've never had a
nerd
nerd puking while watching this.
Yeah. You know what makes me want to watch the Nerd Pow Wow? Nausea.
Vomiting.
Thanks.
Perfect.
Were you puking before or after you turned
That's
us
true.
on?
That's true.
That is very important.
Oh my
Well,
gosh.
we're glad you're fine.
Well, after I puke, I usually do feel fine. For a while. Not forever, but for a while.
True.
She had too much kimchi.
Oh.
Well, from K-pop Demon Hunters, we have Jinu has the derpy large blue-furred demon tiger.
I love that thing.
I love it too. It just knocks that little planter down and tries to put it back up. And the six-eyed magpie, absolutely.
Jafar from Aladdin. We have Iago,
Oh, Iago.
the parrot.
Oh,
And then Princess Jasmine had that tiger.
Yeah, what the hell's his name? Raja?
Raja, that's it.
Yeah. Oh, and the monkey.
Aladdin had Abu.
Abu, yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
I'd try and do a really cringy Gilbert Godfrey
let's hear it.
impersonation, but I think I need to warm up for that one. That's a hell of a strain of a voice. Oh, that's it! I'm molting.
It sounded good.
Perfect. I'm molting. I can't believe it. We have to get that Aladdin.
That's hilarious. You do that
That's a
really
good
well.
question. Is that actually his real voice?
It has to be, right?
I would assume so, but is it his real voice? I mean,
How long could you go talking like that if that wasn't your real voice? That's what I want to know.
yeah.
Wow, that's rough. I'm gonna sneeze. Sorry.
Bless
sorry.
you. Gesundheit.
Yeah. Ugh. Yeah, it's sidekicks are important. I feel like there's like
Oh, they
sidekicks
sure are.
all over the place.
We're talking about all the sidekicks, Kimchi.
all
Do you
the
have any
sidekicks.
sidekicks you could think of that stand out to you? We've covered
Or even if-
Batman and Robin. We've covered a lot so far.
Yeah, we've
Even if you have a sidekick.
That's true.
Oh, is Spock Kirk's sidekick?
Ooh,
Bum bum bum.
logic
I
and
wanna say
reason to
no.
his brashness, right?
I just want to say no because he's the commander, Spock.
That's true. The military dynamic changes that.
Just kind of like Picard and Riker, or Janeway and Chakotay.
See, I almost see those as hero sidekick kinda, but I guess I'll leave the Star Trek up to you guys on this one. I'm not gonna. I'm not willing to jump in the ring with you guys on Star Trek.
Well,
But-
but they're almost like sidekicks by rank, and that kind
Yeah.
of changes it in a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Your
yeah.
first officer is by rank, naturally the
Yeah.
sidekick of the captain. It doesn't necessarily like it's a different kind of thing almost.
But isn't the captain going to pick a first captain or what is it? First
First officer.
first officer that's going to balance them out in some way. They wouldn't pick somebody who's the same. They'd pick somebody who's going to offset some of their faults, right? And I think
Yeah,
that's the earmark of a really good sidekick.
Yeah, it is almost like picking the perfect sidekick for yourself if you're promoting
Yeah.
your first officer into that role.
Even 7 and 9 had Naomi Wildman, the little girl that was on the ship. She followed her around and did whatever she wanted because she wanted to be near her.
Yep.
Kimchi's referencing your Pikachu.
Pikachu. Kimchi,
We talked about that.
I could argue about whether or not Pikachu is a sidekick or a partner. That being said, Meowth, I think, is the sidekick of Team Rocket.
Meowth.
Meowth.
The animal sidekicks. I mean, that's kind Pikachu or Pokemon are kind of different than a little bit different than animals.
Yeah.
But you have tons of animal sidekicks in all kinds of that kind of thing. Ron to Kim.
I don't think we
Kim
have much
Possible.
experience
Kim
with Kim Possible, but
Yeah,
Ron to Kim
no,
Possible.
Ron's absolutely. I have a little. I do enjoy Kim Possible, and that is absolutely a good example. That And you would almost call him like that's one of the first friend zoned
Oh,
sidekicks ever.
oh, poor Ron.
Ron kicked to the friend zone side.
Oh, Ron.
We're gonna create a new thing, the sidekick zone.
Sidekick zone.
No, sorry, Ron, but you could be my sidekick.
Ooh, Shaggy and Scooby. Who's the
Oh,
sidekick?
yes.
Who's
Yes.
the sidekick though? Like it's called Scooby-Doo.
I think Shaggy is to Scooby.
I think so too.
Yeah.
You want to naturally think otherwise, but you're honestly kind of right because
Yeah.
Shaggy's kind of a fuckwad. I mean, he's just this like stoner kind of guy.
Hey,
Yeah.
let's get snacks, dude.
Yeah, Laura said they're Velma's sidekick. She's not wrong there either.
That's fair. They're all Velma's side. Well, yep, absolutely. Absolutely.
What's that one?
Scrappy Doo to Scooby.
I don't know if we have to talk about Scrappy.
I think at least if we're talking about the movie, let's avoid that one because oh my god. Everybody hated Scrappy regardless, right? Even the cartoons, I think most people were just not
He
very
wasn't
impressed
popular.
with the character.
He's universally panned as what ruined Scooby-Doo cartoons.
Poor Scrappy Doo.
Need to punt him.
You know,
he got rid of the. I think it's bad.
Yeah. In JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, a main character becomes a sidekick. He's the younger character in the one season, and then the next season he's the main character's grandfather who's traveling along with him. And he's the guy I was talking about the other week, where this main character, he's such a dickhead. Like this main JoJo in the third season, he's a real dick. And his grandpa, who only has one hand, is like, okay, well, we need to put scuba gear on. Can you help me out? And his kid's like, nope, I'm not going to help you, Grandpa. I'm just going to get my shit on. And then after everybody gets their scuba gear on, nobody knows how to scuba dive. So Grandpa has to explain to everybody, like, hey, this is how you don't get the bends while he's struggling to get all his shit on. Like, man, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. It's a bizarre adventure.
It is.
Calvin and Hobbes.
Calvin Hobbes. What is the there's two cartoons. What's the one where the kid travels to different dimensions with a scientist grandfather? And my brain is
Rick and Morty.
That's Rick and Morty. There's a good one. Like Rick is absolutely like Morty's sidekick. Oh, yeah. And then
Wait,
Adventure
Morty
Time.
is Rick's sidekick, right?
The kid is the sidekick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I flipped it. Yeah.
Yep.
But yep, and then
Adventure Time. You said
Adventure Time.
Yeah.
So there's another one.
Adventure Time's
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
I think they're partners.
Or Wayne and Garth. Wayne's World, party time.
Garth did kind of have a sidekick kind of feel in Wayne's World. I would say that I think the your first thing there, I think they were like Bill and Ted. I think they were partners. I don't think one was the boss. They were just full partners. But I think Garth was absolutely sidekickish in Wayne's World.
Game on. Game off. Oh, I gotta watch that movie again. Wayne's World was great.
Awkward.
I remember I used to hate Wayne's World because my name being Wayne, but as I got older, I'm like, it's just a movie. It has nothing to do with me.
Can you imagine having a name like John and being worried about being named John?
Right? Oh my gosh, I can't imagine.
I tell people all the time that it's the Sam's a good example.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
John is the world's default name. They don't know what to call a dead body. They freaking call it John. Call it John. Throw it in a mass grave.
Oh, they don't know what to call a toilet. They call it a John.
Yeah. Samwise is a big time sidekick. That's a great example.
Best sidekick too. Like really solid sidekick.
He bolstered Frodo a lot. Huh. Yeah, there's a lot of makes me think of Willow and Buffy. That's one I didn't think about. That's a great one too. Yeah, that's a great. We should have had Laura as a guest on this one. She has all kinds of good examples.
Yeah, she's definitely
Kit to Knight Rider.
Or is it Michael to Kit?
I don't know. I think Kit's definitely taking orders.
Okay.
I got an IRL partner in Sidekick. Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly.
Oh yeah.
I would say Will Ferrell's the main character and John C. Reilly's the sidekick.
Yeah. And what about like Adam Sandler and any of his
Any of his bossy? No, those are henchmen.
Yeah, henchmen.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, what are some real life ones? What are other ones?
Real life ones.
There are though. There really are. Like I said,
Yeah.
they exist.
I don't recall any.
Yeah.
Oh, Randy to Earl and My Name is Earl.
Yes,
Oh
that's a
my
good
god,
one.
I love that show so much. My Name Was Earl was great.
Yeah.
Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. Who's the sidekick?
Ooh.
Or are they just partners?
I think
Did you see that movie?
Matt
Rip.
Damon's the sidekick.
I didn't.
There's a movie called Rip, and they're both in that movie.
Yeah.
It's a very good movie. Bella to Edward.
Ooh.
See, yeah, but it's hard when it's like a love interest because then it almost becomes like,
Or is it Bella to Jacob?
yeah, because the love interest, the whole romantic end of it makes it like I would hate to ever call my like significant other my sidekick. I feel like that would be a little demeaning.
Yeah. Now I'm her sidekick. I think that's more accurate.
Maybe.
Just because I have a pair of jeans doesn't mean I wear the pants in the house.
Well, hey,
that's good though. She does, especially when she towards the end of the story and stuff like that. She's absolutely has like she's obviously the main character energy. She's always the main character, but I mean she has the like taking control of the situation thing.
Nah, that was a sidekick.
What's that?
Kimchi said, "Nah, that hoe is a sidekick."
That's great.
Oh, poor Bella.
You know where Kimchi fell in the Team Edward or Team
Jacob.
Jacob. Oh, shit. Yes.
Or we have Jin Woo and all of his little summons.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Well,
Oh, it's crazy.
Ingress is definitely his sidekick, though. Out of all of them.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Yep. We need more, man. I cannot wait for another season of that.
Right? Gosh.
Dying. I love that show.
It was really good.
Snoop Dogg to Martha Stewart. Yes.
Or marijuana.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh my god.
Snoop Dogg.
Good choice, Kimchi. Good choice.
Let's get the fuck,
out of here.
No, I was Team Jacob. He brought the animal.
Not the kind of full moon I'm into.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
No, what else, nerds? Any more?
Other
I was Team Weird Animated Baby Thing.
Oh,
Ugh.
that thing was freaky.
That was a choice they made.
That was a choice. Somebody made a choice.
That's right. Choices were made.
Yeah, I'm kind of blanking now. Oh, unrelated to sidekicks, but Disney is going to be bringing back gargoyles. I just read this.
Yes.
And they have a lot of push behind, like they're literally saying like, don't worry, we're going to do it right. They're literally saying like, don't worry, we're not going to mess it up. So fingers crossed. But
and I talk about something I'm excited for is Thundercats movies making headway.
Oh yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Kimchi, what are you referencing as Chud? Not the old movie Cannibalistic Humanoid Underground Dwellers, right?
Alphawold.
Alphawold. You know what? You guys ever hear that movie? Chud? It was literally a movie called Chud, and it stood for Cannibalistic Humanoid Underground Dwellers. It was a really, really freaking weird B-movie horror thing, but it made its rounds for a while.
Nice.
Yeah. What about like even like going like the silly things like Mickey and Goofy or Mickey and Pluto? Disney had some sidekicks back then.
Yeah.
Come here, Lou. Come here, Lou. I don't know why this little dog like always waits for the 10 o'clock hour to be like, now is the time that I must go outside. He always waits for that.
Hey, at least you're
only on podcast nights. Yeah, but it's only on podcast nights. I think she gets bored or something. I'm not
like, show me attention.
Yeah, I think she's like, and she always gets a snack after going outside too. So I think maybe snack.
Oh, snacks.
Who would like a snack? Me.
Very nice. All right, guys. Well, is that all we have for our Creped Crusaders sidekick?
Yeah, I think we covered
Yeah, I mean,
everyone we wanted to cover and then more.
It's our voices
What step aside and watch how my adoring fans flock to me.
We give our fellow